Hi, my name is Ryan. I'm from the Cinema Spot. Very excited to talk to you guys today. This is also my first press junket ever, so
All right.
really cool to be here.
Here we go.
So this is for both of you. Godzilla and Kong, they both have this very long legacy across pop culture and movies. And I was curious, do either of you have a pre-existing relationship with that? And did you bring that in with you? And how does that affect your performance, if so?
I dated Kong in high school.
How was she?
And he was a weird breakup. But
That's why he's angry.
Work is work.
For me as a Japanese person, I think it goes without saying that Godzilla is huge. Like a privilege and an honor to get to work on something that's Godzilla related because we idolize him since childhood. And, I love the original, watched it with my dad as a kid and all of those things. So bringing that awe and, fascination into it, definitely.
And growing up, Godzilla toys, the Godzilla movies, everything. And then also just jump into this new MonsterVerse franchise with Legendary and have this show kind of tie in to those movies that are so much fun was just like a no-brainer.
One thing I was really curious with your performances, I mean, Anders, you're taking a character that was in a previous film from John Goodman, but from both of you, is there any other performances that you might have been inspired by that, people might not expect, or just something you thought was, would be interesting to take from and pull from?
There is this documentary called Fire of Love, and it's about two volcanologists, like French volcanologists. They're a married couple. And in the 70s, they went to explore and research volcanoes with homemade gear. It was crazy. They're just walking on lava and stuff, and they were just obsessed. And they unfortunately passed away in Japan when a volcano erupted. So I felt very connected to them in that I saw that and I was like, oh, this kind of relationship, this kind of life is possible. It's happened. So that was pretty inspiring to me.
I just kind of read the scripts and was like, I get this. This is cool.
Hi, what is that? Does that come from the sea around here? Do you mind?
Hey.
Hey, wait, hold on. Hey,
Dueño este lugar.
I just want to take a photo.
You talked about reading the script, and this season your character, I think, has to go to some pretty heavy and dark places.
Yeah.
And you come from a comedy background. I'm familiar mostly with your work from Workaholics.
Yeah.
Did you find that challenging having to do that pivot, or is that, sort of freeing that you're able to go to this other place that people might not expect from you?
Well, being in comedy, I obviously have a dark past.
Dang. What's up with all these books?
I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it in the way that I enjoy comedy, which is fun and you're in a scene and you're trying not to laugh and you're trying to make somebody else laugh and you're really building something that's almost explosive. And then in these emotional scenes, some of them were with other actors, some of them were by myself, some of them were with child actors, which is a whole other thing you're tapping into.
Right.
And it's just like flexing a new muscle, It's rewarding in ways that you're like, am I connecting to anybody who's watching this? Is my experience as this character in the show, in this moment, am I doing it justice? Is it real enough for someone out there to watch and go, oh my God, been there? That's the challenge.
Watching it, I would say you definitely get to that.
Yes!
You did.
Oh.
I did it. I pressed the button. I let the genie out of the bottle.
What's next?
Mari, similarly, your character has a very unique position in that you get to exist in both timelines of the show. How do you keep track of that? Is that really difficult when you're reading the scripts? Or yeah?
Because there's so much happening in both timelines. So I literally had to write out, everything in chronological order, and that's hard because we like time jump as well. So just having like a Bible of like what happens in this timeline, where I am emotionally, physically, you know, like you watch it and you're like, it's day 3 and she still hasn't showered, you know. It's keeping track of those things and going back and forth is obviously like so difficult because they're in such different places in her life, literally 60 years apart. So I decided that I had like a scent. I like to use scents from my characters, and I had a scent from season 1 and I kept it as the 50s scent. And then I found a new one for the modern day. So literally send a signal to my brain being like, we're here today. I was challenged and I was really like given the opportunity to like grow, and it was so much fun.
Hundreds of thousands are in the path of this monster. And we don't know what it wants.
How does acting work when you have to be against like these giant CG monsters and there's nothing there? Like how do you do that?
Right.
Should we tell 'em?
Turning? Yeah, you tell them.
Season 2, we use actual real monsters. It's fun. It's fun to imagine. And then the reward when you see it all cut together with like the finished CGI, you just go, holy cow, this is much better. And like the details that you never imagined are there, and it really brings it together.
Yeah. And like the foundation of our work is to imagine. So it's not so far-fetched, right? To be like, well, I'm acting with this person or like monster now.
I'm gonna find a way to set things right. I promise.
What do you want people to get out of this season when they watch it?
Ooh, I hope they laugh. I hope they're scared. I hope they cry. I hope they feel everything because the characters go through everything. And at the same time, we have this giant spectacle, like a lot of them throughout the season that they can like really, the monster fans will love. So you get a bit of everything.
I think the show comes out February 27th, and then each episode drops every week for 10 weeks. And like, I love that because then you get like the water cooler moment where everyone can be like, did you see last night? Crazy, unreal. Can't believe that character revelation. Can't believe the monster that was revealed. Like, that's what I hope. And that's what I love about the way they spaced it out.
Yeah.
On Apple TV.